All right, so area equals pi r squared. Where am I going to plug in 4.5? For r, for the radius. So you're going to have to be quick with your calculators. So we're going to have pi times, 4.5 squared. You have to square first. So what is 4.5 squared? 20.25. All right, and then what is pi times 20.25? 63 point what? So 59. So this is area. Whenever we answer an area, we answer in meters squared, or squared meters would be fine. Basically, it's like saying I could fit, so a meter by meter box, I could fit 63 and a half, basically, inside of this circle. Okay? So anytime you have area, your answer is squared. Find the radius of a circle with the area of 176.7 square feet. So where are we going to plug in to our formula? Yeah, for A, for area. So 176.7 equals pi r squared. All right, so what is, we can't just take the square root yet. What is pi doing to the radius? Multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So you got to divide by pi. So you'll have 176.7 divided by 3.14, which would be 56.27. Finish the problem by getting rid of that squared with a square root. So what is the square root of 56.27? I believe it's 7.5. 7.5. This is a radius, so it's just in feet. Number 3, find the area of a circle with a radius of 8.5. So same thing, pi r squared. Where will we plug in 8.5?
R.
For r. So area equals pi, times 8.5 squared. We are going to get a slightly large number. Well, pause. What's 8.5 squared first? 72.25. Now, what is pi times 72.25?
226.87.
226.87. This is area, so inches squared. All right, and the last, we need to find the diameter of a circle with an area of 153.94 square feet. So in the area formula, will we be able to solve for the diameter? Not as it is. What will we solve for? The radius, and then how do we find the diameter after that? Multiply times 2. Good. You double it. So they gave us the area, so we're going to plug that in. And it equals pi r squared. What's our next step? Divide by pi. Pretty sure it's 49 point something. Is it 49.03? Are you just telling me yes? Okay. All right, and then last thing, take the square root. It will be 7. And this is the radius. So the diameter is going to be double of this. So our diameter is 14 feet. We're just gonna keep on moving on. All right, so that's how you find area. How do you find the radius, things like that. So if you remember, when we talked about circumference, what was a specific piece of the circumference called?
An arc.
It is an arc. Okay, it is an arc. But it's called an arc length. So arc length. Okay? If you remember, to find arc length, there was like a formula. Okay? What went in the top of said formula, Emily? Arc length over the circumference. I think we're going to let Willis back here redeem himself.
3/6 is on the bottom.
Okay.
And then arc measure.
Arc measure is on the top. Good. So in this section, a piece of the area, so your specific slice of pizza, okay, is called a sector. So sector, inside there. Okay, so you're going to have a very, very, very similar formula. I said very a bunch of times because literally the second half is the same. So that is not going to change. The first half, you have to think in terms of sector. Arc length was a piece of the circumference over the entire circumference. So we're going to have a sector, which is a piece of the area, over the entire area. So the area of your sector, which is a piece of the area, over the entire area. I would write that in. So they're very, very similar formulas. It's always the part over the whole. If you remember that, you'll be just fine. Okay, so we're going to do our first problem. Yours is in black and white. Mine is not. So if you want to take out a red pen so you can label which arc is red. On your test, it would say shaded and non-shaded because it's still going to be in black and white. If you haven't finished writing down the formula, it's over here. Okay, so we're going to talk about this problem. There are two parts to it. We're finding the red sector and then the blue sector. Okay, so the red, it still doesn't even look red to me, but looks like a orangish pink, like a peach or a, what's a good word for that?
Salmon?
Well, kind of a salmon. Coral. Right, coral?
Light
Okay, kind of like a coral. Did you know it's a scientific fact that boys don't see colors as well as girls? Did you know that?
Shades of colors.
Yeah, shades of colors. I'll have to show you this thing I found.
What does it look like to you?
Like, we are more, like,
They're what am I seeing?
yeah, like, okay, so we are, to us they're more vivid, so therefore we are more detail, we're detail-oriented about many things we shouldn't be detail-oriented about, but I'll show you a picture I found a long time ago and it explains everything. Apparently men they don't have better hearing, that's for sure. I think they have,
Better sense of direction.
No, not really.
that is not scientific. It is not. I can't remember. It's definitely not hearing, that's for sure.
Is it true? Is it true
That's a lifetime question, isn't it, Corey?
Is it
What?
true that African Americans have like an extra heel?
I always was told it was an extra ligament in their leg. I don't know. Listen, you should ask Miss Cruz. She would know. She'd probably laugh at you, but she would know. I don't know. Makes sense. All right, so we're going to find the red, and then we're going to find the blue. Inside of your book, it won't say red and blue. It will say find the sectors. So you'll have two answers, because sectors is plural. Right? Anyways, so we're going to use the same formula. The sector over the area of the circle equals the measure of the arc out of 360 degrees. All right, so do we know the area of the red sector?
No.
No, that's literally what we're looking for. So we're going to put an X for the area of the sector. We don't know the area of the circle, but we sure can. How do we find the area of any circle?
Pi radius squared.
Yeah, pi r squared. What is the radius in this picture? 14. So pi times 14 squared. 14 squared is 196. I hope you didn't type that in. What is 196 times pi?
615.
There you go. 615.44. So that's the area of the whole circle. All right, it equals the measure of its arc out of 360. So what's the measure of the red arc? 120. So still it's degrees on the right and it's length on the left. So think of length left, L and L. We're going to cross multiply. X times 360 is 360x. And then the other one, which is 615.44 times 120. It's going to be a very large number. Yeah, that one's not right. Yes. 0.8. That's a pretty calculator. Last step. Divide by 360. Round to the nearest hundredth. Which is two decimal places? 205.15. Good. So 205.15. This is area, so we're going to say feet squared. Sorry, the F does not look like a... It's weird. Whatever. All right, we do the same thing with the blue. We're going to find the area, bless you, of the blue section. So that would be the rest of the circle if you... It looks blue, so I can't argue that one. We use the same formula. The sector over the area equals the arc measure out of 360. Do we know the area of the sector? No, that's what we're looking for. So X. Do we know the area of the circle? We sure do. What is it? Yep. 615.44. It's the same area because it's the same circle. However, the arc will be different. The arc is not 120.
240.
It's going to be 240. How'd you find that, RJ?
360 minus 120.
Yep, 360 minus 120. So this is 240. All right, so let's do some cross multiplying. These are going to be very large numbers. So 360x equals 147,705.6. Didn't mean to raise my voice on that one. Then last divide by 360. And x equals 410.29. So think about this. 410.29. 29 feet squared. How much was their total in the entire circle? How much area was their total? 615.44. All of the circle is accounted for in the red and the blue, right? So what should the red area and the blue area add up to? That not
615.
Yeah, 615.44. The arcs should add up to 360, but the area should add up to the total area of the circle. Okay? So if you added them, 15 and 29 make 44. And then 205 and 410 make 615. So we did good. We're going to flip. The other scenario you might be given would be where it gave you the area of a sector. So if you look, it says find the area of circle H. So do we know the area of the entire circle? No. And I'm telling you right now, some people are going to be like, oh, look, it's 214.37. No, that's for this piece, and this piece only. We use the same formula. So we're going to put the sector over the area equals the measure of the arc out of 360. Do we know the area of the sector?
Yes.
Yes, we do. What is it?
214.37.
Yep. So 214.37. Do we know the area of the entire circle? No. I'm going to put A for area. You don't have to, but I am. And then how many degrees do we have? 85 out of 360. So pause and think about this for a second. This is a proportion. So 85 the numerator, in comparison to 360, we would agree that it's pretty small?
Yeah.
So 214 is going to be significantly smaller than whatever we get for the area. So we should get like a large number, possibly around 1,000. Just be thinking ahead that your answer needs to make sense. So we're going to cross multiply like normal. We're going to do A times 85, which is 85A. And it equals 214.37 times 360. 0.2. Perfect. All right, and then the last thing we do is divide by 85. 907.92. This is area, so it'd be centimeters squared. Austin, are you okay? Sorry, I thought you asked a question. That was you?
Yeah, I was going to ask, if you know the area of the whole circle, and you're finding for 2 sectors, if you find one sector, why not just subtract from the whole
One,
area?
you could be wrong. 2, we're rounding 3.14, so your answer might be off from mine. Sometimes they don't add up exactly. Like, we might be off by 1/10 if we added them together, or we might be off by 100th. In my first class, when I did one with them, we were off by 100th. Yes, sir.
So sector is like the area of like a red.
Yes, you could find the area of the blue as well. You will have to be able to find both. In this one, it just says find the area of the whole thing. All right, and then this is called a composite. You will have to do one of these, or a couple of these, on the quiz and the test. We're going to go over the area formulas because it seems that nobody remembers them. We did talk about one of them today. What 2 shapes do we see this broken up into? Yeah, so we have a half a circle. There's a reason I'm going to put half and not semi. And then the other one is a triangle, a right triangle. So we're going to find the area of both of them and add them together. And that will be the area total. Okay? So we know how to find the area of a circle. How do we find the area of a whole circle? Pi r squared. We're going to do that the same like normal. Okay? So what is the radius? 3.5. How'd you find 3.5? Yeah, you got to divide the diameter by 2. The diameter was 7. All right, so what is 3.5 squared? It's 12.25. Times 3.14. I don't remember the decimal. We'll have to actually do this one. So 3.14 times 12. So 0.467. So point. Give me the rounded. 47? Okay. All right, so that is the entire area of the entire circle. Do we have the entire circle in this picture? No, we only have half of it, so guess what we do? We divide it by 2, or you multiply it times a half. Either way. So divide it by 2, and we get, what, 19 point something? 24. All right, so that accounts for what I have in red. Does anybody remember the area formula for a triangle?
1/2 base times height.
I'm proud. Base and height. 1/2 base and height. So, what is the base and height in our right triangle? 7 and 7. So 1/2, 7 times 7. Doesn't matter what order you multiply in. I know 7 times 7 is 49. What is half of 49?
28.5.
I would check that. I just came back from lunch. I'm pretty sure it's 24. Because 24 doubles 48, and then the half and a half make 1. All right, so then we add them together. And we get 43.74. We all agree? Okay, so this is area, and it's in meters. So meters squared.